G'day, this is Captainoob, and if at first you don't succeed, try a bigger gun. This is a 4-gauge shotgun in double barrel form. So here's the lowdown. Back in the day before the widespread use of gunpowder, they would use black powder to power their weapons. They'd just ignite the black powder and that explosion would push the projectile out of the barrel. And the way they would make their weapons stronger is to make the caliber size way bigger. So they'd use these gigantic lead balls to shoot stuff, typically large game like tigers, bears, elephants and such. Here is a standard vanilla game 12-gauge shotgun, and here is the 4-bore, the mighty 4-bore. Look at the size of that thing, and look at the shells at the back here, just to give you a little bit of an idea. And to give you a little bit of perspective on the size of the 4-gauge shotgun balls back in the day, well, you got the 12-gauge shotgun balls, which would weigh about 1/12 of a pound each, whereas the 4-gauge would weigh 1/4 of a pound each. 114 or so grams of lead ball. That is a lot of stopping power. That's going to stop anything charging at you. So shoot at this thing at death claws and watch them stagger and flee. So that gets you in the ballpark of about 113.4 grams per projectile for this thing. And if you compare it to, say, a 7.62 NATO round, which weighs about 9.3 to 10.6-ish grams, well, you can tell this thing's going to have a lot more weight behind it. So the force behind it should be a lot greater. You probably have a little bit of trouble over range and accuracy because they're not exactly the most aerodynamic projectiles getting around, but it's a shotgun. You're supposed to be up close and personal. And another example, 50 BMG usually weighs about 42 to 48 grams according to some of these graphs that I'm reading. So yes, a big projectile. And the lights back on now. This thing features custom sounds. The animations are that of the double barrel shotgun, which is totally okay because it's what it is. But I've got the Battlefield 1 replacers, which misaligns the reload just a little bit, but we won't pull any points against the mod for doing that because obviously it's meant to be using the vanilla game stuff. But there's also a bunch of customization, unlike the previous double barrel shotgun that I looked at. So let's jump in. First of all, you've got the receivers. You're pretty much going for vanilla game stuff here, although this one requires awareness, so some pretty esoteric perks to unlock some of these attachments. But scroll down to the bottom, you get yourself the overpowered receiver, which will give you the greatest damage. So why wouldn't you do that? Epic damage and reduced fire rate. The fire rate will be fine, thank you. Advanced receiver, less scary on your perk requirements. There's also options for piercing receivers, which will do a little bit of bleed damage. Is that like listed as poison damage? Fascinating. There's also a powerful optimized receiver for superior damage and critical shot, but honestly, if you're going for damage, you're not going to be critting all the time, so just go for the strongest one that you can with the overpowered receiver. Next, we have the barrels. If you install the stub barrel onto this thing, you'll get a superior critical shot damage, but it'll cost you your range and accuracy because you'll have a gigantic spread when using this thing. But if you want to VATS max and basically point blank people in the face with this thing, then there's really no option better for this. You can make it a little bit better at range at the cost of some critical damage utilizing the short barrel here. This long barrel will give you better range with better recoil, narrow that spread down a little bit, and the extended barrel will give you the greatest range, and the accuracy will be boosted slightly too. Not too much though, but a little bit. Now, speaking of range, this weapon actually holds onto its damage over range, unlike literally any shotgun mod or any vanilla game shotgun ever. This thing is actually capable of reaching out and hitting targets at a sort of a medium range and actually dealing good enough damage. The trouble is, maybe not all the time. The trouble is, of course, that sometimes all of your projectiles won't hit, so you probably won't get your full measure of damage just because the spread of this weapon is a little bit too much, but adding that extra little bit of utility where you can actually shoot people at a distance and do damage, always welcome for a shotgun mod. We quite like that because we don't want glorified melee weapons eating 12-gauge all the time, or in this case 4-gauge, but I like that. That's very good. Next up, we have the stocks, and we're starting off with no stock, which would be terrible for controlling the recoil of the 4-gauge shotgun shell, but that's a Lily problem. You also options for a full stock, a gunslinger stock, which will give you nice little a leather cover over your stock and have little shotgun shells stuffed into there, a little bit of flavor, increases your reload speed. You also have a recoil stock, which gives you a little bit of padding. Honestly, recoil on a weapon like this, not really that much of an option. Precision, not really a requirement for shotguns anyway, and the fact that you're only firing 2 shots before you have to reload, recoil, you don't have to really worry about that much. But interestingly, a marksman stock, which gives you superior recoil and aim with scopes. We'll come back to that one, but I think we'll go for a gunslinger stock here because A, it looks cool, and B, the extra reload speed, very good for a weapon with only 2 rounds in the chambers at the same time. So next up, we've got the sights. You can have standard sights, you can have glowing versions as well, laser sights in red and green, and there's also options for Falcon dot sights, Bushnells, Aerotex, and if you go down to the bottom, you get into the scopes, which if you use the marksman stock, you can make those have a little bit less scope sway when you're aiming down the scope. But where will these scopes be without the options for slugs? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But let's go for something like... do I want a scope on this one? No. We'll just go for something basic, like... maybe we'll go for some laser sights on this thing. So instead of aiming with the actual weapon, you just aim with a dot that happens to be cast in the middle of the screen, so you don't have the entire shotgun sort of blocking your view when you're aiming down sights in first person, which is pretty helpful. Next, we've got a legendary effect provided by a legendary modification. Something like explosive would be awesome on this one, but we'll refrain from doing that. The first of the uniques is located within Ticker Tape Lounge, which is an unmarked location, so I'll help you find it. It's a little bit out of the way. So here I am on the top of the Fallen Sky Bridge. The easiest way to get up here is just to go from DB Technical High School, take the ramp up the road. You'll find yourself up here in no time. Now, once you get up past the truck with the excavator on its trailer, just keep going on. You'll find this red building. That's where you want to go. Not the brick one, the red one with the red paint. It's all metal and it's rusty and falling apart. You'll find the front door, a couple of gunners outside. Head on through. Once inside, you'll find a few more gunners, but the 4-bore made short work of them. Now, what I want to do is head through this section, the boarded up windows. That's how you know you're going into the right spot. You find this cooking station. Just hang a left from there, and underneath this little makeshift ramp, you've got this mystery box with DB-115 Slayer. So many demons, your time has come. Deals mixed damage, applies 25 fire damage, and reduces energy resistance by 15 over 5 seconds. Organic targets explode on death, applying the same effect. 50% more damage to ghouls, and minus 25% damage to everything else. So a good zombie slaying shotgun with super shotgun. That's what the legendary is called. Buckshot rounds. So we might do those up with Dragon's Breath, since we've already got some energy damage in this. So yeah, you've also got a bunch of other things in here, including 4 anti-tank rifles, which is a different mod, but it is ironic. It's the same guy who made the shotgun, made that anti-tank rifle mod. So cool. Just hanging out. The next unique is located on Cricket. Now, it's easy for me to find her because I've killed her and I just resurrect her every time that I need her because, you know, if she's dead, she's not moving around, but I wouldn't recommend that. Results may vary. Anyway, Cricket is carrying Tina's broomstick, and it goes exactly like this. All around the stack to plant, the stalker chase a bandit, the stalker thought 'twas all in fun. Pop! Goes a bandit. Deals extra acid damage over time that reduces damage resistance, an extra 75% against robots because of the corrosive of the acid. Dying organic targets will explode and leave a pool of acid. Ooh, interesting. Also, if I'm at close range, am I going to get showered in acid as well? We'll have to see. Anyway, so we'll buy that one. That one's a little bit more pricey than the unique we found previously, but nice. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. And the last unique is located at Far Harbor, specifically in Far Harbor at Alan's shop. You'll find the 4-bore rifle here, which is actually chambered in 50 cal, so it's actually going to be a rifle. Still looks like we've got shotgun shells down there, but don't worry about it. Anyway, description says, more than enough to kill everything that moves. Deals plus 100% damage against animals, and it has a chance to knock down as well. So I suppose we're going to attach a scope onto this thing, seeing as we're using 50s. We'll have to see how that one goes. Okay, here we are outside of Immersive Gunners Plaza once again, and here is our 4-bore shotgun, and we can blast these crows from back here, and that's what the reload animation looks like, the Battlefield 1 version. Slightly misaligned, but it's fine. Maybe the first-person animations have been altered slightly, but for some reason, the shells just look like that when you reload it. In third person, when you reload it, it's very much a vanilla game, so that's fine. And you might find this weapon comically large in third person, but if you utilize something like power armor, this thing would be pretty well scaled to it. Inside the hulking suit, this thing would look like just a regular or double barrel shotgun if you're outside of power armor, so I think that's kind of cool. So here's a second one that I made. This one has the buckshot rounds, snub barrel and no stock on this thing. Pair that with the reflex sight. As you can tell, our AP usage for this weapon is going to be next to none. We're getting about 8 or 9 shots out of this thing before we deplete our AP bar, which is going to be good because past our third target, we're going to be critting every time. Now that combined with the snub barrel should make our crit damage enough to one-shot kill everything. So for VATS maxing at point blank range, this one should be the very best. Here is DB115 with Dragon's Breath. Gives you a bit of a dragon's fiery thing when you fire this thing. No pun intended. We're getting some major delay here. I'm just going to hit mouse button 1, and as soon as I mention it, it goes away. Hopefully it stays away for good now, but sometimes when you reload this thing, you try to fire it as soon as the reload animation is done. Not on this occasion, it's better now, but sometimes there'll be a delay, which is maddening. Not on this occasion, though. I think if I switch to third person and utilize this thing, it seems to fix itself. That's great. Anyway, here's Tiny Tina's boomstick, and as you can tell, it's got the explosive rounds on it, the explosive slugs, which if I aim down sights are going to be accurate, but check out that spread. Obviously not helped by the snub barrel we've got attached to this thing, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit unpredictable, probably dangerous to myself, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. And lastly, here is the one with the 50 cals. Now, I've made sure this thing has got the marksman stock and a scope to go along with it, and it even sounds slightly different as well. Reload animations look like that in third person. And that's pretty much it. Let's get started shooting stuff. We'll go sniper status first. And I'm pretty sure those gunners probably ought to have heard something with me firing all of those shots, but never mind. Looks like we got one of the knockdowns there. Whether that was created by the weapon itself or by the sniper effect, I'm not really sure. It looks like these are not hit scan projectiles, so we'll have to lead our targets just a little bit. There we go. We've got a nice little Grim Reaper sprint there, or a 4-leaf clover. What I'll do is I'll take out these turrets as soon as I finish leaning over to the side. And now we're in Crit Town. We'll do a bit of sniping with this thing, why not? If we find some stationary targets, that'll be ideal for us. That's one down over there. So the slowness of the projectiles are going to make it hard to be a dedicated sniper weapon, especially when there's plenty of vanilla game alternatives that do not require any leading of targets because the projectiles are hit scan. A little bit unwieldy in now that they're up close and personal, but the hipfire is pretty good, so we'll just go up and blow their heads off, I guess. That worked out pretty well. But there are better options for a shotgun, so we'll go over to our flesh out one and see what we can do with this thing. Oh, there's the dreaded reload delay. Let me just go over to... Oh, I'm stuck. I got stuck walking for a second there. That's the stuff. And if I use a critical on this thing, I believe it bypasses all of the armor that they have. So we can do a whole lot of damage at very close range. But if we go, say, back behind this car and try to, like, get them from back here, if we can actually hit some of these projectiles, they're taking effective cover at the moment. 91 damage for a scattershot projectile from back here. Not bad at all. Not quite precise enough to line up headshots, but when they do hit, those headshots are doing some pretty good work. So maybe we'll try to get a little bit of headshottery going on here. Not quite. I do love the fact that you can actually reach out and hit stuff at a longer distance, but I think let's go point blank range now. There we go. You should be dead in a second. Wait till you're finished pistol whipping me and then blow your brains out. At this stage, we've cleared out a lot of the ones down the bottom. Not all of them, though. We should be in Crit Town at the moment. Not quite enough to get the job done. We'll just aim down sights, shoot them in the head that way. We'll take flight and get ourselves up here. should have a few people up on this upper balcony. I don't think I'm going to be doing much damage to those guys by the fact I'm going to be missing pretty much all of the pallets. So we'll continue our close range dominance here. We get a 2-for-1 deal. Line them up properly. Unfortunately, no ballistic mechanics here to make the shotgun pellets fly through the first person into the second. But if you want to run this game, or this weapon, in VAFs, as you can tell, with a bit of gun fu, you can pretty much obliterate everything. Especially when you miss like that. Let's go over to Dragon's Breath now. Would have thought we'd be doing a bit more than that. That's better. We'll get up nice and close and personal with this one. Take out some of that foliage that he's sitting behind. Oh, this one's got the delay. We can just go to third person for a second. That should be good now. Yep, fixed it. Fantastic. Oh, did I? I don't think I did. I suppose we are getting a small damage penalty when it comes to shooting these guys, but I'm kind of disappointed. The giant fireball, though, not very disappointing. I quite like that one. Let's go over to the explosive one now. Obviously good for crowd control. If enemies are standing around each other, you can explode multiples at the same time. Oh look, they're exploding in acid, and am I standing in that? It's like a little Milet Queen pools of acid. It's a nice little reuse of vanilla game assets. And you can sort of be lazy with weapons like this. Oh, bit warm now. You can just sort of hit the ground around them, and that should be enough to kill them. Or the walls that they're standing next to, that usually does the job as well. So we've had a pretty cruisy run here. There's not really that much this thing hasn't done poorly, like other double barrel shotguns. The fact that you can kit it out to do different things as well adds that utility, a bit of versatility. It means a shotgun mod can be multiple different things, kind of following the vanilla game weapon philosophy, so I always love to see that. Now this should be a perfect time for a breaching shotgun like this. Nice. One remains, I think. An invisible person who gets corroded into a puddle. Okay, I think there's only a few people left at this point. We might even find some Rust Devils, perhaps? Maybe not. Ah, there you are. Get a nice little sneak critical on you and blow you sky high. Or into the ground, I suppose. Let's take out the walking guy, and hopefully the animation will allow them to not damage me for a moment. But this is the kind of range that normally shotguns would be hitting for singular digits of damage, but not this one. No, we're carrying our damage a little bit further. I know I've been harping on about that, but I like that in a shotgun mod, damn it. Okay, that was good. By the way, we're in a bikini again because, you know, Atomic Widow did it twice and I wasn't going to let her one up me. So this one is the Pikachu version. Look, Lily, they're taking a Pikachu. That was funny. Laugh. Okay, so there are multiple ways to play this, but I want to give it the old VATS maxing way. So we'll disintegrate that guy. And we've got a bunch of raiders around, so if we can... I was hoping to grab hold of Swan to pull me closer into these guys, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Okay, that's one. We're looking for a Grim Reaper sprint proc here. Come on, give me one. Nope. Perfect, there it is. We've got one ghoul left over as well. So now we're in Crit Town, so we'll run up to Swan, hopefully bait his attacks, and we'll be able to get a massive amount of headshot damage and dodge that. Nice, the dodges work in first person. I mean, in slow motion. And nope. How's that for a little bit of dramatic dodging? Now we can quickly get this kill. Didn't get the Grim Reaper sprint proc. unfortunately. That's okay. We can hit him up with regular old VATS now. Just wait for our AP to come back. Ouchies. And now, stand right under him and put a bunch of shotgun shells into the bottom of his chin or something. Do a bit of cleansing of his face. Like a 4-gauge toothbrush. Look at that damage. All those pellets hitting for 222. It's quite a good amount. Oh, he's opened wide for that one. How's that taste? Bit of spice in it. Okay, VATS maxing has gone extremely well here. He's on his last legs now and we've barely taken that much of a scratch. Although he can toss rocks over the carriages. Ow. Probably slightly out of range here. We'll make it work. I think we've got him on the ropes. Just give up now, because now you're just giving me more crits to use against the next poor bastard. Oh no. And down he goes. Jammed in between two carriages. And one more to double tap. Okay, well that was fun. Let's go find another monster. We'll try a different method this time. Okay, so this one, dealing more damage against ghouls, should come in handy against Mr. Wendigo over here. So we'll creep in a little bit here and see what we can do. Hoping for a stagger. Hasn't really come. Did I mess up that reload? No, I didn't. That's fine. Really thought there would have been more to this. Hey, he's actually run over that. Good on him. Ow. Whenever you're ready to fire this thing, please do. There we go. Okay, this thing isn't as effective as I thought it'd be. Is it the energy damage is screwing me over? Maybe we just VATS max again. We'll see how we go. We seem to be getting a whole lot of damage on him now. But I honestly feel like just standard buckshot would be doing way more to him. I don't know what it is with this weapon. Doing the job now that I'm VATSing, but, you know, I'd said I was going to do something different, but this is just the best way to run this thing, I suppose. We're almost there. Maybe a bit of, Oh! Why did that happen? Huh? He was... Okay. Okay, that was really kind of strange. So, let's try this with regular old VAFS crits, because the VAFS one, they were kind of funky. So, we'll see how we go. What we need to do is just get 4 shots, and then the rest of them into this big one. They will all be crits on that stage. Probably went overkill, didn't have to crit that guy. Now, this one should kill him, right? No. That's just a normal crit. It's doing okay amounts of damage, but if I do a VAFS crit, it does that for some reason. I feel like that might be a bug that's just brought on by this, this mod, so that's unfortunate. Get off me. Okay. Now, what have you got to say for yourself?
Stop right there.
Nothing, except I'm aggro. Okay, well, that didn't really work all that well, but we've got to find the big mosquito. He's around here somewhere, and he's missing about 1/3 of his body. That's interesting. And look at all these shots we get in VATS. Let's hit him up. I kind of love how you can see the 12 gauge, I keep saying 12 gauge, the 4 gauge shells go along in the air like they're like tank shells or something, like 20mm tank shells that you fire from like an LAV or something. I don't hate how the balancing point of this sometimes, if it's not inaccuracy, it's just the bullet travel time. It makes it a little bit harder to hit these spindly little bastards as they're moving around. Wow, that almost one-shotted me. Well, that's interesting. Alright, where's the big one? That one. He goes down. We've activated Nerd Rage. It might actually die to these mosquitoes here. Nah, we'll be fine. Right. Right. Yeah, the goddamn shot delay got me again. Come on. Plenty of time to lock onto a target. Oh wait, we hidden now? Good. We can regenerate our energy shields in the safety of non-combat. See, the radiation energy has been converted into energy to power the shields, you understand. That's how it works. She's not a ghoul. Okay, time to face the building, and we'll shoot it with our 50 cals at first and see what kind of damage we can do. Not too bad to start off with. We'll go for a bit of VAFs, get ourselves some criticals. Okay, and I don't know if that didn't hit her face or anything. Ah yes, the face headshots doing over 1,000 damage, so we'll try to keep those going for as long as we can. Maybe some of these flechettes. That's done pretty well. Oh, the shot delay again. Come on. I don't know what causes that, but it's very annoying. Needs to be some sort of Fallout 4 script extender magic to get rid of that annoying shit. Okay, let's shoot him in the face a few times. Get some of these criticals going. Okay, it's a pretty good start, but we're going to need a little bit more in the way of VAF's criticals, so if you would please. Just reload this thing whenever you want to. There you go. Sort of keep within spitting distance, but not punching distance. Or we could take out the occasional insect that turns up, or arachnid that turns up, and try to kill them. There we go. That gives us a little bit of extra gun-through damage to carry to the next couple of shots. So we'll make use of that, and then I've got a plan to deal with the rest of her health, because she can't keep tanking this forever. We've got a way around it. You probably already know what it is. Maybe we'll go for the legs here. Seems to be the better thing to do. A nice little four-leaf clover proc. We'll fly right by. We've got a fly here. Really need a Grim Reaper sprint proc. You hear me? Didn't get it. That's okay. Because now it is time to unleash the ultimate power in the universe. Take this! Mutated. And this! Excellent. Now we go back to grinding our crits, I guess, because what else am I going to do? We can even sit in this pool to regenerate our energy shielding. Here comes the rain. Wonder if the enough spit in this water would make it an acidic thing and start burning when you walk in it or something. I see a rad scorpion behind her. Alright, we've got you out for a second. Hopefully the stagger is enough to cover the reload. Jam the shotgun up its ass. And there we go. Ooh, there we go. That's some good damage. It's like you're grinding up to an ult in one of those lame hero shooters. That's what we're doing here. That's how big the spread is, by the way. You can try to hip fire a building and still miss. It is what it is. Probably should have made the barrel just that slight bit longer before attempting this, hey. What other stragglers do we have? Oh, a rad roach. Bless you, little cotton socks. Okay, we've got a crit out of that thing. Let's take it to him. There we go. I think I just saw a red scorpion. You really want a piece of this after what you just witnessed? No? Oh look, it's on fire too. There's surround sound. I heard that thing just behind me. It turned around and blew its brains out. And pretty much everything else apart. Okay, look, I think you get the idea. So that was the 4-bore, or T6M's 4-bore. Not to be confused with the almighty 4-bore, which is not a double-barreled weapon. That one's a singular barrel, and I think I like this one better. There's a certain cool factor that comes with having a dual-barrel shotgun, and making it even larger than your standard 12-gauge is, it's really cool. So, I think this is actually worth having a look at. A good endgame scattergun type weapon. Can you fuck off? Seriously. Just go away. Out. Good. Keep getting visited by all insects and other bugs around here. But yes, link will be in the description if you want. I highly recommend it. By the way, this is VTOL Wardrobe 10 beta stuff. The chain around waist there, I can't remember what that one was. It's one of the VTOL mods. I think VTOL Wardrobe 7 or 8. And the shoes are from the Breeze Butterfly outfit. One of the ports, I guess, from the Marvel Rivals game. It works well with the rest of the beachwear that Lily's wearing. Link will be in the description if you want her as a follower. Thank you very much for watching, guys.